The two strongest sets by far from the Scarlet and Violet era are both getting a reprint. Yeah, baby! So obviously the Pokemon Company came out recently with that statement. They are going to reprint Prismatic Evolutions, Pokemon's newest set. It's a crazy, awesome set. The chase cards in it are worth a fortune at the moment. Will that change? Time will tell. But the point is, Prismatic Evolutions is getting a reprint, which should be good news to most of you, because let's face it, we've had to pay scalpers prices, which most investors, including myself, are not doing. We're not paying a premium 2-3 times the price for a new product. We're not paying scalpers prices. Some of you have, and it is a strong set, and long term you might still be okay, but it's the principle that matters. No one should have to pay $150 US for an ETB when it first comes out. Surgeon Sparks is also getting the reprint in February. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that, but it is getting a reprint. I don't think it's affected the prices on Surgeon Sparks yet, though it may in the future. We just don't know how big the Surgeon Sparks reprint is going to be. I just want to go through some of the Surgeon Sparks and Prismatic sealed products and chase cards in today's video to see if the news has affected any of these prices, to see where the prices are at with these products. And, you know, should we buy, should we wait, should we keep an eye on it? Let's just get straight into it and have a look. Here's the Surgeon Sparks booster box, up 72% in the last 3 months. Now, this thing's only 10 weeks old, not quite 3 months old. I'm guessing some of these sales back here are sort of pre-order sales around 140, 150. But nonetheless, this thing is just shy of $250 US. Now, I personally haven't purchased a Surgeon Sparks booster box. I'm not interested in paying, you know, $150 US, which is about, let's call it 250 Australian dollars, something like that, for a brand new booster box. We normally pay about 180 for a new booster box down here in Australia. I didn't want to pay $70, $80 more for a brand new booster box. And look, this is about 400 Australian dollars for my Aussie neighbours. It's just a very expensive booster box. Is it a strong set? Absolutely. But it's like I'd rather wait and see what the reprint does. I do have Surgeon Sparks. I've been buying other products, which we're going to look at in a minute. The Surgeon Sparks booster box, if you want to pay this much, pay it. You know, in 3, 4, 5 years, it's going to be irrelevant, because this is going to be a set that's worth... This is going to be a booster box potentially, depending on how big the reprint is. It's going to be a booster box. It could be $2,000 or $3,000, you know, in 5, 6 years' time. We can only speculate. I'm not making any wild predictions. Again, the reprint is yet to come. Here's the ETB. You guys are paying in America $79. Basic, call it $80, right? This is up 82%. And this is just the regular ETB, not even the Pokemon Center ETB. This is $79 US, $80 US. That's about 127 Australian dollars. This doesn't make sense to me why you'd pay this much, guys. I literally, just today, what's today, the 23rd of January, I'm filming this. Going to be a couple of days later by the time you guys see it. I literally just saw on Amazon today, these are 80, I think it was 82, 86 Australian dollars, which is about 50, 55 US dollars today on Amazon. So I don't know who's paying these prices, guys. You don't have to. They are popping up here and there at retail price, these ETBs. I don't know who's paying this price, guys. You don't need to pay $80 US for this ETB. If you have already, that's fine. Again, long term, it's not going to make a huge difference. But I like to buy good deals. I like to find value when a product is pretty new. And when I look back on all the stuff I've bought over the years, when I buy the stuff cheaper than what most people do, because I'm patient, because I sit back and I wait and I monitor the market and I track the numbers, I often pay half the price of what a lot of people do. But I don't want to ramble on too much. The ETB, $80, I think there's going to be better opportunities to buy this. I might be wrong. Guys. It's happened before. It happens to the best of us. But I just think this is a bit pricey for a brand new product. You know, a 10-week-old product. It's a beautiful ETB. Great set. But I think... Look, you can see the price hasn't been affected. I don't know how many people are aware of this reprint, which is half the reason I'm doing this video, to try and familiarize you guys and make you aware there is a reprint coming. Yeah, 82% growth in 10 weeks for this product is insane for that ETB. Again, here's the booster bundle. This is one of the products I've been buying down here in Australia. You guys are paying $43, $44 US for a booster bundle, which obviously has 6 packets inside. I've been paying $44 Australian dollars which is like 27, 28 US dollars, something like that. Again, I don't know who's paying 43, 44 US dollars. This has been popping up all over Amazon down here in Australia for 44 Australian dollars. Call it 27, 28 US dollars. This is how I've been buying my Surging Sparks booster box. My Surging Sparks products, not my booster box. I haven't got a booster box. Slip of the tongue. The 3-pack blisters, guys, up 56% in 3 months. 26 US dollars for the 3-pack blister. This one is the one that has the Zapdos promo card inside it. Again, up 56%. I have been picking these up from retail stores, though most of them have sold out now. I will say that. Most of them have sold out. Very hard to find these in retail stores down here in Australia. But I've been paying I had been paying 22 Australian dollars, which is about $15, $14 American. I bought a bunch of these from one of our Aussie stores down here, Kmart. I don't know if you guys have heard of Kmart in America, but it's one of our big retail stores down here. Kind of like our version of Walmart, but not as good. But yeah, I've been paying about 14 US dollars for these. I've got these in my as part of my collection, as part of my investments. I've been buying these and the booster bundles. Why? Because I paid retail price. So a booster box down here for Surging Sparks in Australia is 400 Australian dollars, which is equivalent to your 250 US. It means that per booster pack, if I was to buy the booster box, I'm paying $11 Australian per packet, right? I haven't bought the booster box. I've been buying the booster bundles and some other products like this 3-pack blister. And my average packet cost is $7 buying this way at retail, looking for value. And I haven't touched the booster box. $7. So I'm paying $4 less per booster pack than the people down here in Australia that bought the booster box. Just saying, guys, I don't prefer these 3-pack blisters. I prefer booster boxes. Booster boxes are the ideal investment long term. But again, here's the single sleeve blister pack, right? $7.50 US. I paid $7 Australian down here, which is like $3.50, $3 US. Okay, so be patient. Grab them when the price is right. Don't overpay. There's a reprint coming. Will these come down in price? I don't know. The scalpers, you guys know the scalpers are going bananas at the moment. It will come down to how big the reprint is. Pokemon needs to set their printers to capacity, to max capacity, which they've said they're going to do in Prismatic, by the way. Surging Sparks, I don't know how big that. Hopefully it's a massive reprint. I do want to get some booster boxes at a pretty fair price. You know, I don't want to pay 400 Australian. I want to pay like 200 to 250 Australian for a booster box, because it is a strong set. Typically I pay 180, but I'll pay 200 to 250 Australian for a booster box. If that's a possibility in the future, we'll see what happens in February. Here's the number 1 chase card from Surging Sparks, the Pikachu EX. This thing's up 59% since release, although it is down from its high. It had a high here of 576 in mid-November, and it's now down to 477. It's lost about $100 in the last sort of 6-7 weeks or so. What's that? It's basically 2 months, actually. It's just over 2 months. What am I saying? It's like 9 weeks. It's like 9 weeks. It's lost $100. So the price has come off a little bit. These chase cards, they go on a bit of a tear and then they pull back a little bit sometimes. 263 back in late November for this Latias, and now 252. It's holding pretty steady. It's up 17% on the 3 months. These are the big chase cards, the big 2 chase cards. Here's the 3rd chase card from Surging Sparks, Militic EX. I don't know why we've just got that flat line there where it just says $125. Let's see. If we go view more data, we're paying 160, 133, 130, 130, 130. Ignore that one, that's a Japanese one. I haven't filtered it out. 130. You're paying 130 to 150 for this Militic. That's the 3rd most expensive chase card in Surging Sparks. Here's a 4th one. The Pikachu EX was $199 in the first week of December. We're about 5-6 weeks later. It's down to $136. So it's lost about $65 of value, this card, in the last sort of 5-6 weeks. It has pulled back a little bit. That is not from news of the reprint. This is just what happens to single cards. They jump around in price a bit. It might be a good chance to pick this up. However, if it is an insanely massive reprint, these Surging Sparks sealed products and single chase cards, I think, will be affected. Again, right now, I'm not making any predictions, guys. I will say this. I'm not spending $400 on booster boxes for Surgeon Sparks. Now, the top 4 chase cards I just showed you, they are up to almost $1,000 of combined value. When the top 4 chase cards are $1,000 almost, that is a insanely strong set. For example, Paldean Fates is a strong set. Twilight Masquerade is a strong set. The top 10 chase cards add up to about $750 in those sets. Here you've got the top 4 are almost $1,000. Insanely strong set. Insanely strong set. The only set stronger than Surgeon Sparks right now from Scarlet and Violet is Prismatic Evolutions. Here it is here. The Pokemon Center ETB was $394. It's down to $262 now. You'll see these Prismatic sealed investments look like it's only a very short window. This thing's been out for a week, right? The scalpers bought it all. No one could get it. You had to pay 3 times the price. Again, investors that I'm aware of, including myself, are not paying 3 times the price. We ignored Prismatic Evolutions if we couldn't get it at retail price. Most of us, not all of us. I'm not going to speak for every investor out there, but this thing's down 34%. Still quite an expensive product, and this will be the creme de la creme. This will be the #1 product that every investor, every collector wants. The Pokemon Center ETB with the Pokemon Center stamped EV promo card inside. This is a must-have for every collection at the right price. But I think this will come down in price. It already has been, as well as many of these other products we're going to look at. Here's the regular ETB. It is $117. If we go back, pre-orders were $150, $155 pre-orders. This set is literally, again, a week old. 17th of January it came out. We're down from $150, $155 to $117. This thing is down. This thing, well, if we look at the month, it says it's flat. I mean, maybe people got pre-orders at $119, $120 back here in late December. But at the end of the day, no one's made money on this product yet, except for maybe the quick scalper. They're probably the only ones that made a little bit of money on this. I don't think it would be that much, and once you factor in eBay costs and postage costs, I don't know how much profit they're actually making, because LGSs were charging a premium for the most part. Not all of them, for the most part as well. Shout out to the LGS stores that charged a fair price and had quantity limits and allowed collectors to get their hands on some of this at a fair price. Very rare. But this thing's starting to come down. This regular Prismatic Evolutions ETB starting to come down in price a bit. I think we're going to continue to see price drops. For those people that didn't see the Pokemon Center statement, the letter that came out from Pokemon Center, they said they will be printing Prismatic Evolutions to max capacity. Their words, not mine. Will they honor that? Will it really be max capacity? Because if Pokemon turns on their printers to full blast, we could see this thing printed into oblivion and everyone will be able to get it at a fair price if Pokemon are true to their words. If you haven't seen that statement, that letter, check out my last video here, guys. I did speak about it. You've probably seen it on other YouTube channels. It is an official statement from Pokemon Center. Prismatic Evolutions will be getting a huge reprint. Don't pay too much for this set, as I spoke about in my last video. Here's the binder collection, guys. This thing is down 5% on the month. But if we look back here, literally just like 10, 11 days ago, this binder collection was $81 US. Now you can get it for $62 US. These things dropped $20 US in price just in the last 10 days, 9-10 days. This is a really cool item. I think every collector, every investor should get their hands on this at a fair price. This is the only Prismatic Evolutions product that I actually own, unfortunately. I wasn't quick enough to get pre-orders with the ETBs. I couldn't find pre-orders for the ETBs when I was looking in sort of early December, I think it was, early mid-December, when I was trying to pre-order Prismatic Evolutions. I don't normally pre-order anything. I knew that this was going to be a strong set. I took the risk to pre-order because I knew the market's very strong. This is going to be a good set. I paid retail price. I paid a fair, normal, everyday retail price that these binder collections normally sell for at one of our big retailers down here in Australia. I was able to pre-order 3 of these at a fair price, so I got them. I should have got more, but I've got 3 of them. That's literally all I own from Prismatic Evolutions. Now, I could have tripled my money on day one and sold those 3 binder collections. I could have turned 148 Australian dollars, I think I paid all up for 3 of these, into $450 overnight. like that and tripled my money. And the capitalist in me wanted to do that. Was like, damn, that's a quick profit, 300% in 24 hours. I'd love that, but I refuse to do it. I refuse to do it because I don't want anyone to have to pay 3 times too much for a brand new set. I don't want to be a scalper. I'm happy if these drop in value, even though I could have made money on them already. I'm happy for these to drop in value and sit on my shelf for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years. I'm not interested in a quick flip. Sometimes I'll do a quick flip, if the opportunity presents itself, but I don't want to be a scalper. And people that are blaming investors for the bad market and throwing us in with scalpers, there's like, I always put the people before the money. The money will come anyway. And I just don't want to do that to people, guys. So it's sitting on my shelf and it's dropping in price. I could sell it today and still make a good profit, whereas next couple of weeks I think it's going to drop in price even more. Common sense says I should sell them, but I'm not going to sell them. I'm not going to be a scalper. I'll let them sit on the shelf and drop in value, and when they drop in value, I'll buy some more. I'm not going to sell in a scalper's market, which might be stupid and contrary to some investors' mindsets, but I just don't want to do that right now with that product. Here's the poster collection, guys. You can see this thing's dropped in value. $48. Pre-orders were $48 back in January 10th, 2 weeks ago. Now $32, $33 for this poster collection, dropping in price. I tried to warn you guys on my last video not to buy Prismatic Evolutions at an insanely elevated price. Some of you just let FOMO get to you too much, I know how crazy this set is. I know how strong the chase card's in. The number one chase card, let's look at it here. The Umbreon, $1,600 for the number one chase card, guys. For the number one chase card for a brand new set. That's unheard of. That's competing with the Umbreon from Evolving Skies now. Here's the Sylveon EX, $573. It had a high here of $738. It's dropped like $150, $160 since that high. Still a really strong card. Over $500 for the number 2 chase card. You're talking about the top 2 chase cards are over $2,000. Believe me, if anyone knows how strong this set is, it's me. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. So you'd say, well, $150 or $120 for an ETB US prices is not a bad investment because the chase cards are so strong. It's not the point, guys. You shouldn't have to pay $150 US for a brand new ETB. The reprint apparently is going to be through the roof. So just be patient with Prismatic Evolutions. Surge in Sparks, I don't know how big that reprint's going to be. I've said that 3 or 4 times now. So make your own decisions on that. Long term, if you picked up a booster box for a premium now, you're still going to be okay long term. I still don't think you should do it. I think you should hold off and see what products get printed. Is it going to be booster bundles? Is it going to be just blister packs, ETBs? Just keep an eye out for good value with the booster bundles and ETBs, I'd say. And when it comes to Surge in Sparks, buy the booster packs the cheapest way you can. Calculate the price of the booster packs in all those products and buy it the cheapest way you can. It's all going to be relative given enough time that the value is just doing it that way. Buying the booster packs the cheapest way possible. And if that means you never own a booster box because the cheapest way to buy it was always through booster bundles or 3-pack blisters, it's a bit more finicky to sell more products like that when it does come time to sell. But you need to be a value investor, not a FOMO investor. I don't own a Surge in Sparks booster box yet. And again, my average booster pack price is $4 cheaper down here in Australia, the way I bought them, than what it would be if I had bought the booster box. So there you go. There's Surge in Sparks. There's Prismatic Evolutions. Which do you own? Did you pay too much for any of these? Are you happy that you paid too much? What do you think of the reprint with Surge in Sparks? What do you think of the reprint with Prismatic Evolutions? Are you holding back and waiting? What are you doing? Let me know in the comments. There's a bit of an insight to what's happening with those 2 sets, guys. Again, please find value with these products and don't buy based on FOMO. Thanks for watching the Chase Card. I'll see you all next time. Bye.